second question is, why are the classification systems changing every now and then? So question is asking what is the need and why actually the classification system is changing every now and then. So we know that millions of plants, millions of animals and millions of microorganisms have been discovered or found in the living world around us, which are actually discovered by the scientists already. Now, if we talk about the documented figure of species discovered till date, that is 1.7 to 1.8 million, which also represents the biodiversity of the living world. So, if we talk about the answer of this question, then we have to write that millions of plants, animals and microorganisms have been found and already discovered by scientists. All right. And what is the exact documented figure which have been discovered by the scientists till date? That is 1.7 to 1.8 million of species. We have already the discovered species till date is 1.7 to 1.8 million of species have already been discovered by the scientists. Now, in our changing world, in the living world, the new species are being discovered around us. Alright, so therefore, to classify all these newly discovered species with their new characters, with the new classification system, we actually want to classify them into their respective groups, of course. So this actually creates the requirement of classification system changing every now and then. So what would be the answer of this question? That millions of plants, millions of animals and microorganisms are already being discovered by the scientists. And if we talk about the exact figure which we have till date of the species is actually 1.7 to 1.8 million. Now if we talk about the recent scenario, we know that in our world, in our living world, as the evolution is actually is a process, so we find new species, we find new organisms with their new characters, alright? We find new organisms, we find new species. So to classify all these newly discovered species or newly discovered organisms with their new characters, we need to classify them in their respective groups, alright? So this actually creates the requirement of changing the classification system every now and then. So we'll write new species or organisms are being discovered around us in the world, alright, in the world. And we need to classify them in their respective groups with their particular character or any symptom, right? So therefore we need to classify these newly discovered organism or species into groups, into different groups in their respective groups, of course, and this creates this creates the requirement. This creates the requirement to change the classification system every now and then. Every now and then. Alright, so this is the complete solution, this is the complete answer of question number 2.